flags are flying from Washington across the USA. We'll be so proud when you make us great again. Oh Donny boy, you're going to win.
What a place, what people. There is a movement going on, folks, I hate to tell you. People have not seen anything like this. And, you know, I'd like to think it's me, but I think it's the message. It really is a message. It's so important. And I say it all the time. We don't have victories anymore. We're going to have so many victories. Oh, you're going to get so tired of victories. In fact, we never get tired of victory, right? In fact, you know, you probably saw Saturday Night Live. Did anybody watch? So they set a tremendous ratings. I mean, the ratings were like through the roof. You heard, right? Oh, the media was so disappointed in those ratings. They were dying to say, Trump bombs, the show was a disaster, nobody watched, but it was, even the pickets, they all left a half hour earlier, they went home to watch the show. You know, if you watch, and I'll tell you what, I love the Hispanics, my relationship is so great. We're going to win with the Hispanics, we're going to win. But, you know, I watched the news before Saturday Night Live went on, and it was incredible, really, an incredible experience. And the whole thing, there was an electricity, you people all thought, I have the same electricity tonight, this is incredible. But I turned on all of the major newscasts. They had this beautiful Lorne Michaels, great guy. He has a television set up. I'm sitting there watching television, right? And I'm getting ready to go on. And all day long, they're broadcasting. Tremendous galleries of people are there protesting Trump being on Saturday Night Live. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. So I said to one of my guys out there, how bad is it? I said to him, he's right here, Keith. I said, Keith, how bad is it? He said, Mr. Trump, there's hardly anybody there. There's like 27 people. It's true. And all day long, I'm hearing. And you know, you can tell because they didn't use the wide-angle lens. You understand? It was focused like the four people in the middle. It's true. And I could tell. I said, you know, I think they're really misrepresenting. The media really does misrepresent that, I can tell you. So we sent them out, and it was a small group. But the funniest thing was they did leave early, and I hope they enjoyed the show. I'm sure they did. And then they said $5,000 to anybody that says certain negative things about Trump. And who did it? My man. That was pretty cool, right? Hard to believe I wrote that script, but I thought it was cool. So we had a great time, and they saw Hillary tonight. Anybody ever hear of her? Hillary. And you'll be happy to hear that head-to-head, I beat Hillary very easily, isn't it? So Hillary, they said, you know, when you did Saturday Night Live 4 weeks ago, that was the opening show. That traditionally would be their big show. And she had Miley Cyrus, who I think is terrific. And I had Sia, but Sia's not love to see it, but, you know, I would say that Miley would have an advantage, would you think? You know, great. So Hillary had Miley Cyrus, supposed to be, you know, the biggest star other than Trump. And, no, my wife feels that way. She said, you do not realize you are the biggest star anywhere in the world. You do not realize it. You do not realize it. And I said, really? You mean it? You are bigger than anybody. You are bigger than Tom Cruise. You are bigger than anybody. And a friend of mine said, now I know she's really smart, right? I said, because I'm happy. But it was very interesting because we were talking about Hillary today, and somebody said her performance wasn't that good because she was mispronouncing words, especially when, you know, she mispronounced a couple of words and stuttered a couple of times. And all she had was one little skip. I had the whole evening, and I didn't stutter once, right? I didn't stutter once. And I got really good reviews, except from a couple of people that gave me the review before they saw. You know, there were some, they wrote up the review before they even saw me. One published it slightly before I went on. That's how I know that was a fact. But we got great reviews, we got great ratings, it was a lot of fun, and I think it made a point, and it was sort of cute. I think one of the popular skits, well, I like the dancing, right? But one of the popular skits was when the president of Mexico, Mr. Trump, Enrique, and he comes in, I have a check for you. And I said, Enrique, it was for $20 billion, right? Now I can do it for 7. So I said, no. This is too much, Enrique. I don't need to. Oh, Mr. Trump, no. We need this. Now, what did he say? He said, walls build friendship. Now, that was sort of really clever. But you know what? Walls will keep friendship. Because we won't be ripped off so much once we build that wall. And that wall is going to be... Mexico. I love the Mexican people. I have thousands of Hispanics that work for me, tens of thousands over the years. They're great people. But I will tell you this. Thank you, guys. Thank you. But I will tell you, and you know the politicians that we're running against, they don't have a clue. Thank you. But you know what's going to happen is Mexico is going to pay for the wall. I will tell you right now. Because they've been doing a number on us. Their leaders are much smarter, much more cunning than our leaders. Our leaders don't have a clue. They do not have a clue. And they're really far more cunning.
Saying.
You know what that was? I thought they were yelling in favor of Trump. Then finally I realized, not working so well, it said feel the burning. That means burning. That means burning. Now think of this. Think of this. First of all, a couple of young women took over the microphone from Bernie a month ago, right? They took it over and he was like this. Stopping ISIS, I will tell you. And Hillary is not stopping ISIS, I can tell you that. Hillary is not strong enough. She's not tough enough. She's no way she's going to be able to do it. And there's always problems with Hillary. You know, it's always a problem. It's always a problem. But they're not going to be able to do the job, and that I can tell you. And Bernie had his chance during the debate. And he said the emails, oh, forget about the emails. Now he's trying to take it back. And look, if we had honest government, Hillary wouldn't be allowed to run in this country. are in jail right now for doing 5% of what she did, and the Democrats are not going to prosecute her, and it's frankly a disgrace. And you know it, and so do I, and so do these people right here. They know it. And you better remember, there's a 6-year statute of limitations on that crime. So Hillary's running for a lot of reasons. One of them is because she wants to stay out of jail. Because I am sure, and first of all, everybody gets a fair shake with me, but I am sure whoever the Attorney General is, we've got a lot of years left on that crime. That's a crime. General Prairie got 2 years probation. And he was somebody that everybody liked, everybody respected. What she did is so much worse. And I will tell you that if I win, we're going to look into that crime very, very seriously. Very, very seriously. A real problem. And now she's saying to herself, she's watching right now, and she's saying to herself, man, I better win. So we have to make our country great again. We have to do it. We're going to make it so good. And we're going to make it so strong. And we're going to take back trade from China. And we're going to take back trade from Japan and from India. And from all of the countries, all of whom I respect, almost all of whom I have a very good relationship with, and I've done deals. But we're going to take back our country, we're going to take back our jobs, we're going to take back our manufacturing, and we are going to bring it back. We have right now close to 100 million people. You talk about labor participation, the worst it's been in 36 years. We have a phony number when you hear 5.2%, 5.3%. If it was 5.2%, this room would be empty practically. Other than, we don't like what's happening with ISIS. We don't like what's happening with everything. But if it was 5.2, I will tell you right now, this room would be half empty instead of having set a new record and having beaten my friend Elton John. Can you imagine that? Well, it may have been Elton, but I will tell you, one of the biggest said, you get the biggest crowds of any human being on earth, Donald, for somebody without a guitar. You know what that means. In other words, for a non-musician. So, we're going to bring it back. You know, you have a case that I've been talking to, not so far away. A very nice place called Chicago. Do we love Chicago? It's ours, right? Right. It's not another country. So Nabisco is moving, as you know, their big plan. They're going to move it to right now. It was just announced. They're moving it out of Chicago, and they're moving it into Mexico. You believe it? You believe it? And I tell people, I'm never eating an Oreo. Tonight on the plane, they had Oreos. They may be the last made in this country, but I wouldn't eat them anyway, because the threat is there. So they're moving Nabisco out. They're moving Ford to Mexico. Boeing is building a big plant in China. All over the world we're building plants. All over the world we're losing. And all over the world we build plants. In China, think of this. We have a trade imbalance of almost $400 billion a year. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we could straighten it out? Could you imagine if I could get that down to, and I promise I'll do better than this, but could you imagine if I could get it down to $100 billion a year in losses? In losses! When we say $300 billion. Now, let's say we break even because we want to be nice. But we have rebuilt China. We have totally rebuilt. You go to China, they have bridges bridges like the George Washington Bridge, like many, many bridges all over the place, going up, left, right, all over. What do we build here? What do we build? What do we build? We build nothing. And I said it. China, what they've done to us is the greatest theft in the history of the world. It's true. They've taken our jobs. They've taken our money. They've taken our base. They've taken our spirit. People graduate now from college. One of the biggest questions I get when I go around are students. They go to college. They do well. They borrow money up to here. They get through and they can't get a job, and now they owe money. And the country wants to go after them. The country wants to go after these kids. Now what has the country done? They've given jobs out to everybody else. Today I read, and I have Starbucks at my tenants. Did you read about Starbucks? No more Merry Christmas on Starbucks. No more. I wouldn't mind. Hey look, I'm speaking against myself. I have one of the most successful Starbucks in Trump Tower. Maybe we should boycott Starbucks. I don't know. Seriously? By the way, that's the end of that list, but who cares? Who cares? Who cares? But today, a big story that Starbucks is taking Merry Christmas off. No more Merry Christmas. I will tell you, lots of big things, lots of little things. You can call this anything you want. But if I become president, we're all going to be saying Merry Christmas again. That I can tell you. Now, you know, some of the candidates running, including Hillary, the other day, I mean, can you imagine Hillary being president? Can you imagine? You know, she's a little different person. She got a little burst of energy because she figures she's not going to be indicted. She got through the Benghazi hearings, what that was all about. I don't know why they didn't go after her, but she got through those hearings. I blame the Republicans for that, to be honest with you. Ridiculous. And now she's got a burst of energy. But it won't last long, believe me. It won't last long. Because the energy is not a natural energy. And it's not going to last long. And you can't have it. So, the Zogby poll just came out. Very highly respected Zogby poll. 10 minutes ago, just before I came in, I said, good, I can mention a new poll. And it was Trump leading 30, Carson 17, despite all this stuff going around. And everybody else much lower than that. That's good. That's good. First one, Zogby. Zogby, one of the good ones. So Hillary mentioned recently, and so did Jeb Bush, but I don't mention him anymore because this is not working out. You know, I'll tell you a little secret. So we had him in a really rough line. And we had him in a rough line on Saturday Night Live. The butt of the joke was Jeff. And because I'm so nice, I said, you can't do it. It's too mean. Too nasty. Too nasty. See? How nice am I? It would have been the best crack of the evening. It would have been the best joke, and I said, take it out. But Hillary said, she said, good for you. Nice, right? See? Right. I didn't want to do it. In fact, actually, we tried it out, and everybody said, oh, just leave the guy alone. We said, listen. But he's not doing too well. He's not doing too well. And he's been defined. Now I have to define a couple of other people. And it should be easier, actually. I mean, it should be easier. With what's going on with this election, I've never seen anything like it. People are getting away with murder. I've never seen anything like this. You can say anything about anybody. And their poll numbers go up. No matter what you do. If you try and hit your mother over the head with a hammer, your poll numbers go up. I never saw anything like that. Now, I haven't seen that yet, but, you know, probably that's going to happen. No, it's a lot of weird things happen. This is a strange election, isn't it? Man. You stab somebody, and the newspapers say you didn't do it. And you say, yes, I did it. No, you didn't. Yes, great temperament. For success, I have a great temperament, I will tell you. And I don't like being ripped off like we're being ripped off. I wouldn't sleep. You know, I'm not a big sleeper. Like 3 hours, 4 hours, I toss and turn, I think, I mean, repeat. I want to find out what's going on. And, you know, I'm the only one. I'm self-funding my campaign. I'm putting up my own money. Except for the little donations where they send in $50 and $17 and $28 and even a few $100s. But I'm funding because how do you send back? A woman sends a check for $17, send it back. You can't. And also, that's really an investment in the country. It's an investment in a campaign. There's no influence peddling. I can't be bought for $17. But we have amazing people. And that doesn't amount to, relatively speaking, doesn't amount. But I'm the only one that's self-funding my campaign. I'll put up a lot of money. In fact, we just started with radio ads. Did anybody hear the ads yet? Good. I figured, why should we go fancy? Let me just talk. We got a mic. I spoke. We will do this. We will do that. We will defeat ISIS. We will build our military strong. We will take care of our vets. I don't believe in Common Core. I want local education. I believe in the Second Amendment. I want to be able to... I want to repeal and replace Obamacare. I didn't say this in the end, but a couple of extra things. I want to have a country, and it sounds a little strange at first, but when we talk about it, I want to have leaders that are unpredictable. I don't want leaders saying, we are sending 50 men to Iraq. We are sending 50 men to Syria. Why don't we just send them? Send them. Send them. Now they're being bountied. They're being hunted like dogs are being hunted. Because we have a president that wants to show how tough he is by sending 50 men. So everybody over there, they're not babies. You know, they're not the JV that this guy thought they were, okay? Remember the JV? They're the JV. Well, they just knocked down an airline, and they only say it's 99.9% does it. This is not the JV. But why would we say, at a microphone, we just sent 50 men to Syria? He's what? When we had Iraq, and I was against going into Iraq, and I was against it since a long time, and I was right. And the White House sent people because I guess I get a disproportionate amount of publicity. I made a statement. It was in Reuters, like in 2004. It was in one of the big magazines in 2003. Don't go into Iraq. You're going to destabilize the Middle East, and Iran is going to come in and take over Iraq. Iraq has these incredible oil reserves, number 2 in the world. Don't do it, and you'll have other bad things happen. ISIS. You'll have other bad things come out. Don't do it. And I am, by the way, the most militaristic person in this room, and you have some serious, believe me. You know, one of the things I tell people, I will build our military so strong and so powerful that nobody's going to mess with us. We're not going to have to use it. When General Ordiano left a couple of weeks ago, I saw him on television. All these guys were on television. I don't want my generals on television. I don't want them on television. The word unpredictable. I want to be unpredictable. But when General Ordiano left, he said something that frankly he shouldn't have said. But he said it. He was being interviewed. He's leaving. And he said, our military right now is the least prepared of any time. And I think he said, since the beginning. But he could have said since the Second World War, either one of which, can you imagine? Now, if I'm Putin, if I'm China, if I'm this wise guy from North Korea that nobody even talks about, You know, it's interesting. He has nuclear weapons. We go after Iran with one of the dumbest deals in history, right? One of the dumbest. One of the dumbest. But they don't talk about the guy in North Korea who actually has nuclear weapons. We've got 28,000 soldiers sitting there on the line between this maniac and South Korea. And I say, South Korea, I order my televisions from South Korea. Unfortunately, we don't make them here, right? We have no choice. It doesn't make me a bad person. I order thousands and thousands of televisions from South Korea for hotels, for all the things I do. They give us, like, relatively, they give us nothing. We protect them. We protect, you know, Saudi Arabia before the oil went down. Now it's gone down. But before it went down, they were making $1 billion a day. So let's assume now they make a lot. More money than this country will ever be thinking of. Why do we protect? I'm all for Saudi Arabia. Now, I didn't like that when the World Trade Center came down, the scum that knocked it down sent their families all back to Saudi Arabia, and then we attacked Iraq. I wasn't exactly thrilled with that. But why is it that we protect Saudi Arabia? We get nothing. We get nothing. Why is it that we protect Japan? Now, Japan is an economic behemoth. They send cars by the millions. If Japan is attacked, we have to defend them to the end. This is the kind of agreements we make. If we're attacked, Japan doesn't have to help us at all. Right? So we protect Germany. I had no idea. Don't forget, I only became a politician 4 months ago. Well, I'm a very, very fast man. I'm like the world's fast. I am really a fast man. We protect Germany. We're protecting. When you talk about an economic monster, take a look at what they sell. Take a look at what they make. And by the way, why she took all of these folks from Syria. This could be one of the great Trojan horses of all time. And you know, in Germany right now, the German people are rioting. The crime is unbelievable. They never had a problem. The German people, Merkel, I always thought she was a hell of a leader. And then about a month ago, I said, is she crazy? And in this country, our president wants to take in 250,000 people. I have a heart, believe me, bigger than his heart. But when I look at the migration and the migrant, I look at that big, they call it the big migration. And you too, I see all these strong guys. They're all young. And I say, why aren't they fighting for their country? Why are they migrating? And I say, that's a weird thing, right? I see all of these people, and they're young, and I don't see a lot of women, I don't see a lot of children. I see these young, strong men. And I'm saying, what's going on? That's a strange deal. That's a strange deal. So when I was asked about 2 months ago, what do you think about it? Would you take in 3,000? Now at that time, 3,000. All right. I said, I guess. So do we always have to do it? Do we always have to be the suckers? I guess. Well, what about 5,000? I guess. Then all of a sudden, a week later, I've been hearing 25,000, 50,000. Now I'm hearing the numbers 250,000 people. These are people that don't have documents, that don't have paper. We have no idea where they come from. They may be ISIS, and they probably are. You know the old story of the Trojan horse? Could be the ultimate. This could be the great Trojan horse of all time. So it's going to cost us over a 10-year period billions of dollars. I saw a report, I couldn't believe it. Billions and billions of dollars. They've got to learn our language. We've got to set up schools. Are we crazy? And by the way, the Gulf states, some of the wealthiest countries in the world, they will take none. None. They won't put up money, they won't take them, and here we are, we owe $19 trillion, and we're going to take in 250,000 people. It's so sad. I mean, it's so sad. And then I look at a guy like Rubio, who's very, very weak on illegal immigration. He was a member of the Gang of Eight. That meant come in. You know what the Gang of Eight was? Come in, come in, come on in. He was a member of the Gang of Eight. Very weak, and by the way, so was Carson. Carson wants to come in, and he wants to let the people come in. He can't do it. We can't do it, folks. We can't take it. Our system can't take it. These are people with no experience. These are people that never met a parent. These are people that have never done it before, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't, I don't care. They'll do well, they got a nice smile, they look good. Everyone tells me Rubio's a wonderful speaker. I said, really? Tell me why. Tell me why. He's a wonderful speaker. He's actually a nice guy. I don't care if he's a nice guy. Honestly, I don't care if he's a nice guy. Remember when he was doing the message to the president? Remember with the water? This guy gets the greatest press. So he's, sweating and sweating, pouring sweat. Now the president had just spoken, right? And he's doing the message. This is a big thing. They selected him, I think because he was young. So they selected him. And he's talking. I noticed, I say, man, is he sweating. And then all of a sudden, and we will fight, and we will this. And it wasn't out of a glass, it was out of a bottle. I don't know, maybe he got paid for the company that had the bottle. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. And then they said, oh, he did such a great job. I said, oh, he did? Some people are lucky, or something's going on. Or something's going on. Explain it to me. Now, the last debate, people said Rubio did. Now, in all fairness, every single poll I won, that I did the best, okay? I don't know. I think I did well. CNBC said I won in their poll. CNBC. If CNBC, after the disgraceful job they did, said I won. But you had Drudge, who's great. You had Time Magazine. I certainly don't have any influence over them. And you had many of them. And you had NBC said I came in third. I was very unhappy with that. But it's sort of interesting because I watched Bush and Rubio going at it. And I heard Bush just step in. And honestly, I did, other than he quit at the end. Right? You can't quit. He gave a decent statement about Rubio, that he never shows up to vote. He's elected as senator. He's supposed to I like it, I don't like it. But Bush gave a decent little preamble. Rubio responded. No great shakes. Wasn't like earth-shattering. And then Bush didn't say anything. And that was the problem. That won't happen with me. Because Bush just got absolutely slaughtered the next day. And I think it was his lack of response. And you can't have that. You can't. That's why you need high energy, not low energy, right? We need high energy. So we have people that I'm running against. And honestly, I have to say what I have to say. I have to be honest. I'm a straight shooter. And I think to a certain extent, that's why I'm doing well, and to a certain extent, that's why I draw more hostility than anybody else. Because I don't care. I don't care. The country's so bad now. It's doing so poorly on so many different fronts that whatever it is, they'd like me to be more politically correct. I went to an Ivy League school. I'm like an intelligent person. I can be so correct that even the correct people would have said, man, he is the most elegant human being I've ever seen. But we don't have time. We don't have time. Like anchor babies. You remember the reporter? He said, anchor baby is a very derogatory term. What it is, guys. I said, well, what would you suggest I say? He said, the child of an undocumented immigrant who happened to be born on the wrong side of the line. I said, no, thank you. And sure, remember that deal? The reporter. Someday I'll tell you what his name is. But we can't have people coming over. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people a year. And from all over the world. From all over the world they come. And they get born. They're born here. And now for the next 85 years, we're all taking care of everybody. And you know, if you have, this is true, if in Mexico, as an example, and this doesn't just happen in Mexico, but if you have a baby in Mexico, they'll give you a few days to recover and you're the hell out of there with the baby. If you want to become a citizen of Mexico, it's one of the hardest countries in the world to become a citizen of. One of the hardest. I couldn't do it. Although maybe I'm very good at that stuff. Maybe. But you know, you go to Mexico, and you're there for a week, and you have a pass for a week. They come up and see you at the end of the week. Are you prepared to leave, sir? A friend of mine was in Mexico. Nice guy, nice family. They came to him the day before. The police. Are you leaving tomorrow, sir? Well, I need some. Well, you'll have to apply. Hey, by the way, I'm not saying that's wrong. That's the right way of doing things. That's the right way of doing things. With us, people come in, they stay for the rest of their lives. We're stupid. We have stupid people leading us. We have incompetent people. No, we have incompetent people leading us. And we can't keep doing it. We can't keep doing it. You're at 19 trillion. But you heard the report today with unfunded liabilities and all the other problems, you could be at over $60 trillion. I don't even want to say it, but you could be at $60 trillion. They're talking about all the unfunded liabilities. So we have got to get this election right. We can't go with these politicians, all talk, no action, don't know what they're doing, don't give a damn about anything but being reelected. That's all they care about. And some of them are nice. I mean, they're nice people. Ben Carson said the other day that as far as Medicare is concerned, now Medicare works. There's waste, there's fraud, there's abuse. We can take care of it, largely. But Medicare works, and he wants to abolish Medicare. How can you possibly be popular if you want to abolish Medicare? It actually works. Would anybody mind losing Medicare in this ordinance? No? Right? You can't do it. You can't do it. Too many things involved. And the things that do work, we want to hold on to. So what happens is, in the next election, I believe it's going to be the most important election, certainly within the last 100 years, that this country has ever had. I really we have so many things to do, and we're going to do them. And we're going to do them right. We're going to straighten out the country. We're going to run it, and I don't even want to say as a business, because we have to have heart. We have to have heart. But we're going to run our country properly, and we're going to be proud of our country. And we're not going to let China take all of our jobs and business. We're not going to let it. We're not going to let it. We're not going to have websites that cost $5 billion like Obamacare. Everybody forget about it. You forgot about it. We're not going to have a website that costs $5 billion and to this day doesn't work. And we're not going to have a plan where our president lied to us 28 different times by saying you can keep your doctor, you can keep everything, you can have whatever you want just to prove it. And he makes it right on the button. Because Democrats had voted for Obamacare would have never done it, except he lied. And then the Republicans did nothing about the lie. I'm almost, I have to say this,